Welcome, everyone, to this custom deep dive presented right here on the Dree Zone.
Great to be here.
Today, our focus is dropping you right into the heat of the 2025 Formula One season. We're talking about the 18th round, the one and only Singapore Grand Prix. It's quite unique.
Oh, absolutely. It's more than just, another race weekend. It's a massive strategic puzzle. We've crunched the data stack, all the history, team updates, those crucial strategy simulations. And really, our mission today is to get under the skin of why this circuit gets marked green light. Super favorable for some teams. And at the same time, why it's such a high-wire act for literally everyone else. That single-stop strategy, it makes qualifying absolutely vital.
It really does. And you have to start with the history, right? Singapore's special. It gave us the first ever F1 night race way back in 2008.
Feels like yesterday sometimes.
Doesn't it? And back then, it was only the second street circuit after Monaco. It always kicks off that final grueling third of the season. You feel the intensity ramp up.
Yeah, it's that unofficial marker. And when you look at the stats, the leaders here, they tell a story of different eras. Poles, for instance. You've got Seb Vettel and Lewis Hamilton tied up top, 4 each.
Titans.
Exactly. But the last pole sitter, Lando Norris, shows the shift.
In victories, well, Vettel's still the king there with 5 wins. But it's not just about dominance. Remember his 2019 win?
Oh, yeah, the strategic masterclass.
He wasn't on pole, but pulled off that honestly pretty surprising overcut on Leclerc to grab the win.
Which tells you a lot about this place. And speaking of recent history, Norris won last year, 2024, for McLaren. And quite decisively, too.
Right, big advantage. Okay, let's talk about the track itself, Marina Bay Street Circuit.
19 corners currently. They've tweaked it over the years. But the core challenge, it hasn't really changed. You've got extreme heat, that really punishing humidity.
Yeah.
It's just so physically demanding.
Before Qatar came along, this was the physical test, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really sorted the drivers out.
Absolutely. It was the benchmark for preparation.
And you really get a sense of that physical toll when you look at the mechanical load data. Our sources show drivers making, over 200, maybe even 300 gear changes per lap.
Yeah, per lap. It's relentless.
How does that constant mechanical stress, affect driver exhaustion compared to, say, a smoother track like Spa?
Well, it's that sheer volume of repetition plus the G-forces constantly braking hard for those corners. Driver fatigue becomes a huge factor towards the end of the race. And if you make one tiny slip up because you're exhausted...
You're in the wall.
Exactly.
Oh.
There's just no margin. You can't keep that mental focus when your body is screaming.
Speaking of the wall, let's zoom in on the action zones. Turns 1, 2, and 3, infamous.
Oh, absolutely. A classic bottleneck. Always potential for chaos right at the start.
Everyone remembers 2017, right? Both Ferraris, Max Verstappen, race over in seconds.
But total disaster for 3 frontrunners. You need such precise spatial awareness there. It's incredibly tight.
But for a positive example, think back to Alonso in 2013. That start was just...
Wow. A masterclass.
The braking, the way he threaded through on the outside, it shows you what's possible if you're aggressive and spot on.
Moving on. Turn 7. That sharp right-hander, 90 degrees. It's marked as a main overtaking spot.
Looks simple, but it's not.
Not at all. It's tricky because to manage the track limits and carry speed, you have to really lean the car hard onto that inside curb, use all the suspension travel. Get that wrong, even slightly.
And you're unsettled for the next bit.
Precisely. It compromises the whole sequence.
Which leads us straight into the turn 13 and 14 complex. Turn 13 demands really delicate traction control. The speed drops right down.
And down to like 65 kilometers per hour, minimum speed.
Why is hitting that 65 kph mark so critical there?
Because your exit from 13 directly sets up the run into turn 14. That's the second major overtaking zone. And it's got the DRS activation right after it.
Ah, okay.
So if you mess up the traction coming out of 13, the car behind gets a perfect tow, pops the DRS.
And they're alongside or past you into 14.
Exactly. It's all about the exit from 13. Nail that, you might defend. Get it wrong, you're vulnerable.
And then there's the big finale, photographically speaking anyway, the T16-17 chicane.
Yeah, photographers love it. Drivers, maybe less so.
They come flying in there at, 290 kph?
Around that, yeah. And exit around 190.
Millimeters from the wall, just pure commitment.
And we saw the consequences, didn't we? Lance Stroll's big shunt in 2024, right at the end of the lap, turn 19.
Ended his weekend before the race even started, 0 margin for error, like you said.
That high-risk element feeds directly into strategy. Pirelli's bringing the softest tires again, C3, C4, C5, same as last year.
Okay, now this is where it gets interesting, physically speaking. Singapore's abrasive, it's a street track, but the data says tire degradation is relatively low. That feels counterintuitive. Why?
It really comes down to the low average speed. Because it's so stop-start, all those gear changes we mentioned, the tires don't build up that sustained high-speed heat and friction like they would at, say, Silverstone.
Right, less continuous load.
Exactly. So you need the soft compounds for that mechanical grip in the slow corners, but because the D gets low, you can actually make them last.
And that combination, low dig and plus the fact overtaking is just so incredibly difficult.
Yeah, near impossible sometimes.
It points to one thing, a one-stop race. Our sources are pretty blunt, suggesting the theme for urban tracks this year is nobody's passing anybody.
Yeah, it feels that way sometimes.
Which means qualifying and track position are everything. Gold dust.
Absolutely. Drivers will actively sacrifice pace for position. Look at Sainz in 2023. He deliberately drove, what was it, 5, maybe 7 seconds slower than his potential lap time.
Just to control the race.
Just to manage the gap, back everyone up, keep that lead. No point pulling away if it means an extra pit stop or burning your tires.
And strategically, let's touch on the overcut versus the undercut. You mentioned Vettel winning with the overcut in 19. Why does staying out longer, the overcut, generally work better here?
The main reason is the pit lane itself. It's long here, and the speed limit makes it quite slow. So if you undercut, you dive in, lose that time in the pit lane, then you come out on cold tires.
Which are horrible on a street circuit.
Exactly. That outlap is slow, it's risky with the walls so close. Meanwhile, the car that stays out, they're in clear air, hopefully banging in decent laps on warm tires. They build up enough of a gap, usually, to cover the pit stop time loss. It's just safer and often more effective.
Okay, so the picture is high grip needed, high heat, one stop is almost certain. The dry zone computer model, running its simulations under ideal conditions, has a pretty clear hierarchy. McLaren comes out as the favorite.
Yep, clearly ahead in the projections.
Then Ferrari second, Aston Martin third.
Which makes sense given the track characteristics. And the weather forecast looks mostly clear for the important sessions.
Mostly clear.
Yeah, the only real question mark is Friday night. Late FP2, around 10 p.m. local time, there's like a 75% chance of rain.
If that hits.
It basically washes out all the useful long-run data gathering. Teams would be going into Saturday a bit blind.
Right. Okay, let's talk teams and drivers, starting with the big one, McLaren. This is their second shot, their second match point for the Constructors' Championship.
The numbers are simple. They need 13 points. That's it.
So a single podium finish seals the deal. The pressure must be immense.
It should be straightforward, but you know F1. The sources flag a couple of things. Norris won dominantly last year, yes, but he did have a couple of minor wall taps.
Oh, errors.
Yeah, tiny errors that could be costly here. And maybe more worrying, those pit stop times recently. They've been creeping up over 4 seconds sometimes.
Well, not ideal.
Not ideal at all in a one-stop title-deciding race. A 4-second stop could be catastrophic for track position.
Definitely something to watch. Okay, Aston Martin. This is where that marked in green comment comes in. The computer likes them, the pundits like them here. Why? High downforce.
Exactly. The car's fundamental design leans towards high downforce. And this track, it's basically 19 slow corners stitched together. It's all about mechanical grip. Aston can run maximum wing, get stability in the corners, get on the power earlier.
Playing to their strengths.
Precisely. It's a circuit where they are naturally strong. Historically, maybe where Red Bull has been weaker. Alonso himself even mentioned the opportunity, sort of reflecting, gosh, it feels weird saying it's been over 10 years since his last win.
Incredible stat. And Alonso also gave that fascinating insight about Adrian Newey, didn't he? With all the 2026 talk.
Oh, yeah, that was brilliant. He said something like, to really understand Newey's ideas, you need to use all your brain.
Even if Adrian's only using 5% of his.
Exactly. It just highlights the sheer level of engineering complexity they're dealing with at the sharp end.
An amazing quote. Now, the main storyline for many, Red Bull. Max Verstappen just turned 28. Incredible. He's won on every other current track. Except this one.
This is it. The final frontier for him on the current calendar.
And the big question mark hangs over that new floor they introduced.
That's the core issue. It worked brilliantly on low downforce tracks, Monza, Baku, places where efficiency is king. But Singapore, its maximum downforce, how does that floor geometry cope when you load it up for slow corners?
Did they compromise low-speed grip for high-speed efficiency?
That's the fear for them. If they did, they might suddenly find themselves struggling with mechanical grip, with stability where they need it most here.
So let's play this out. If Max does win here confidently, what's the message?
The message is loud and clear. Red Bull has plugged their gap. They've fixed their high downforce weakness. If he wins here convincingly, our sources basically say McLaren should be, well, scared.
Scared, strong word.
Yeah, because it means the convergence we thought we were seeing wasn't real. It means Red Bull just eliminated their last real vulnerability.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
moving down the grid slightly, Williams. After that brilliant Baku podium, James Vowles was quick to manage expectations.
Very sensible. He basically said, look, a podium is great. It shows we're heading the right way. But we're not fixing years of underlying problems overnight. It's a process.
Williams is typically seen as a slippery, high-speed car. Does Singapore offer anything for them?
Maybe. While it's not their ideal track profile, the emphasis on mechanical grip, if they can unlock some there, might give them a fighting chance for points. Perhaps better than expected.
Interesting. And then there's the elephant in the room you mentioned earlier, Sauber's rookie, Gabriel Bortoleto.
He is having a stellar first season, putting huge pressure on Hülkenberg.
Hulk got that big podium score, 15 points.
And yet, Bortoleto is only 4 points behind him in the standings overall. That's incredible consistency.
He's made Q3 5 times already.
5 times. And his team boss describes him as way more mature than his age suggests. He's really turning heads.
Definitely one to watch this weekend. And speaking of pressure and futures, Alpine and Franco Colapinto.
Yeah, the report suggests his 2026 hopes really hinge on the next couple of races. Singapore, then the USGP.
He needs a good showing. His best finish so far was 11th in Baku.
Right. He and Jack Doohan are the only current drivers yet to score a point this season.
So for Colapinto, just getting 1 point, just P10 here.
It could literally change everything. Secure that future seat. Massive weekend for him.
Before we wrap the teams, we absolutely have to mention HAAS and that really emotional moment last week.
Romain Grosjean, driving the VF23 at Mugello.
5 years after that horrific accident in Bahrain.
It was just a wonderful thing to see. Pure closure.
He drove with the special helmet his daughter designed, the one he was meant to wear in his final race in 2020.
Yeah. And the reception he got. Staff from Haas, Ferrari, Pirelli, all out there applauding him.
Gave him the proper farewell that the crash denied him, a genuinely heartwarming moment.
A very human story in this high-tech, high-pressure world. Okay, so let's try and pull all these threads together. We've got the brutal physical challenge, the one-stop strategy mandate, the fight for mechanical grip, and on top of all that, the massive constructor's title pressure on McLaren. Like you said, the margin for error is basically zero.
It really is. And that pressure, that focus, brings us back to Red Bull and Max. We know track position is king. The computer models favor McLaren. But if Max Verstappen, facing down his last unconquered circuit, finds that the car does work here if he wins, that psychological blow could be huge. So here's something for you to think about this weekend. If Max conquers Singapore, does that mental victory completely derail McLaren's confidence just as we hit the final championship deciding races?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Okay, this concludes our deep dive into the source material for the Singapore GP. We hope you feel fully prepped and ready for the action.
Absolutely, and don't forget to subscribe to the Drag Zone channel right here so you don't miss any of our future deep dives.